And you never dabbled in cocaine?
Never, never.
So just drinking?
Yeah, my only two vices was the ladies and alcohol.
Yeah.
You're not the Lion King.
I think if I had danced anywhere near cocaine or any drugs, I would have been long dead.
Would you ever like sleep with like 3 ladies in one night?
Been there, done that.
Shit, my dog.
What do you mean 3 ladies?
3 is nothing.
Yeah. I produce orgies.
Hey! Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the greatest computer. See, he's already making me nervous, dog.
Yeah.
I'm chilling with the legend today, dog.
Yep. I don't know how to forgive him. Just once.
Please welcome one of the greatest composers, producers this country has ever produced. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Lebo M. Mr. Lebo M. They call you the voice in the spirit of the Lion King, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
How are you, bro?
I'm good.
I know your producers were telling me you wanted to have an intro song.
Yeah, man, that song.
Hey, what song was that?
Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Don't save her. I just heard it now on my way here.
Why would you want that?
It's a great song. Huh?
Why would you want that as your intro song?
It's a great lyric.
Yeah.
And it's relevant.
Does it resonate with you?
Cool.
Yeah.
Should resonate with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get into your career and how everything started, right? But everything, I want to get straight into the shits. So let's go straight into the shits. Let's not waste time.
Let's go.
Because you look like a man who's got limited time, so let's not waste it.
Plenty of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for this show, you've got limited.
Especially for this show, I got plenty of time.
Everybody wants to know, how come you have so many wives?
Question is, how many wives do you think I have?
Last time I counted was 5.
How many ex-wives? Huh?
5.
7.
5 or 7?
7.
7 ex marriages.
The fuck you get that from?
Hey, it's Google. Out there. It's Google. Out there. It's on Google. It's saying you're married for the 8th time now.
Okay, no, I've been married 3 times. I just got remarried with my 4th wife.
Yeah.
I'm aware there's been a lot of, he's been married 4, 5, 7 times. I used to not pay attention to that until it became clear that it's creating a problem where the misconception of who I am, coming from over a decade of a well-orchestrated smear campaign.
Whoa, for real? On you?
Yeah.
Hectic.
I have never talked about this. Not in the manner I'm about to describe. I was married first time to Vivica, American, 5.5 years, produced 2 kids.
Let's stop right there. What happened with her?
Oh, that's easy. My ex-wife, first wife, was a up-and-coming comedian.
Okay.
In LA. She started her career with Jamie Foxx, Martin Lawrence. We used to hang out with all of them in LA. And I was a nobody, pretty much. I was driving cabs and doing restaurants work.
McDonald's, you worked at McDonald's?
Yeah, I've done McDonald's, I've done it all. But just for...
What were you doing at McDonald's, just out of curiosity?
I could put together a burger, bro.
For real?
Yeah. But I was the guy that washes dishes.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a tough time. I was unemployed, and she had a career that's building with 2 children. Long story short, she kicked me out because I went on a tour throughout Africa. I came back broke. Rightfully so, she kicked me out.
So she was the breadwinner at the time?
Well, we were both studying our career. She was studying in comedy. She started at a comedy theater in LA, in Leimert Park, which is where everybody started. She was hanging out with Martin Lawrence, Jamie Foxx, everybody that you know that's a superstar now.
Yeah.
My ex-wife was above them.
Wow.
Pretty much.
What's her name again? That's
Vivica.
big. Vivica.
Yeah.
Not Vivica A. Fox.
Nah, that's what everybody says. If it was Vivica A. Fox, I wouldn't be sitting here. Because somebody would brought some money up in here. Yeah. So things got tough and she kicked me out. So that was my first wife. Then I went and joined Sarafina.
Yes.
I was on tour on a Quincy Jones Back on the Block album. Met Mbongeni in New York. I wanted to go to Toronto because I was chasing Leleti Kumalo. I didn't know at that time. I didn't want to go to LA because she had filed for divorce and kicked me out.
Yeah.
It was very dramatic. My ex-wife had done. So instead of going to LA, I ended up going to Toronto. And I looked around and said, I realized that, hey, Mbongeni is actually, Leleti is taken.
Yes.
So I went.
She's off the market.
She's off the market. So that's how I met Nandi. That became my second wife. When I met Nandi, my career was beginning to blow.
Okay.
That became the most. That's when the money came in. Yeah.
And we're talking real money.
Proper money.
Proper money.
Which I blew.
Yeah.
But that was a very great marriage, about 4.5 years or so, 5 years. And then we moved from Los Angeles to Minneapolis to build the Lion King Broadway, and then Minneapolis, New York, and drama started. Left from New York to South Africa, and all hell broke loose, basically.
Geez, when you moved this side.
Honestly, my marriage with Nandi should have ended in Los Angeles, right? But it didn't. That's my son, Sepiso, Refuelo, and my late son, Tembalitu's mother. The money got sick. We both really went crazy. By the time we moved to South Africa, there was really no marriage.
Because of the money?
It was too much money and a shitload of things. Yeah. What was the question? How many times have you been married?
Yes.
Yeah, so you go to the second. You go to the second one.
Yeah. So that's my second one. Also, I got to lay that first, and that's the one where my son passed away, and it became very dramatic. Then,
so why did you break up with Nandi? What happened there? Did she kick you out as well?
Nandi didn't kick me out. He took my money and bought a gigolo.
Hey!
Ooh!
Yeah.
Married a gigolo. It was quite a difficult time, still is. If you've seen the reality show, she comes in and out for the reality show. Then let me go to the next one.
Beautiful reality show, by the way.
Yeah?
Me and my woman, we used to...
I'm really interested in what you think about it. I'll come back to it, yeah? I need to mind I'm laying out the against his 7 wives.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then in 2008, I met Angela. Yeah. 8 months later, got married.
What's Angela doing at this time?
I have no fucking clue.
But you just like her?
Huh?
You just like her?
Oh, I mean, when I met her.
Yeah, at the time. Yeah. What was she doing?
Oh, he's talking about now.
Nah, he told you say at this time. What is she doing?
Hey, at that time, how do I describe this? Well, my PA at that time, what happened, Nandi left South Africa in 2004, a year after our son died, moved to Los Angeles, and my life was a mess. My office was very worried about me, as in my drinking went sky high, and, you know.
Oh, by the way, 17 years sober. Round of applause, guys.
Whoa,
17 years
sober.
I can't even go 17 hours.
Bro. 17.
17 minutes.
17. Well, if you want to get to 58 and chill, stop drinking.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Don't leave the other things.
Yeah.
So I met Angela. Pretty dramatic. That's 5.5 years of marriage. Divorced her. Then tried a relationship the second time.
Okay, why did you divorce Angela?
Angela was very violent.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And a very troubled background, which is not in a reality show. Ultimately, when I finally divorced her, she had attacked me violently in the presence of her. I was sleeping and she attacked me in the presence of her then 2-year-old daughter. So I had to play the father role, evict her.
What do you mean evict you? I mean, attack you like with a knife? She's beating you up? What's going on?
She's come at me with knives.
Whoa. For no reason.
Yeah.
She said you do Lion King, so I'm gonna leave you with a scar.
I'm laying there.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but the marriage was pretty difficult. She came in. She had 2 children, twins and kids, so that I adopted, loved, and took care of. They are in the reality show.
Yes, the light-skinned guy.
Yeah, and then divorced her, and I heard too much drama was happening in her life, and I have a daughter with her. So the only time I tried a relationship is the second time when I brought her. Yeah, and after that, I learned something, which is what was sent out to the world as a second marriage. That gets dealt with Hanyane in the reality show, but we never got married. It fell apart because I was worried about the children. All the children. Had 2 kids and my daughter with her, and a shitload of other things happened. So I asked her to leave. And the third time is when the reality show happened, right before COVID. That's then what is misquoted as we got married 3 times. Got married only once. I brought her back to try to have a relationship. The second time, it didn't work out. The third time, I was helping her. In fact, both times I was helping her. Then the reality show happened, and a shitload of other things started happening. Then I asked her to leave at the end of the reality show. So there's no other woman I got married to.
So for the record, it's only 3 marriages.
Yeah.
And you're about to embark on your 4th one.
No, I just got married.
So this is the 3rd one.
4th.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So this is the 4th one.
Yeah.
You mentioned
I beat Angela by 1.
What do you mean by that?
Angela's been married. I'm Angela's 3rd husband.
Gee.
Whoa.
See, that's the thing is, I'm trying to find a way to put context to this conversation.
Yes.
I think in general, as a society and as a country, we need to figure out what exactly we want.
Yeah.
We got to be able to look at the kind of men and women the country's producing, in general. No one is perfect, that's a given. But if you look at the era, like from the 60s to the 70s, the early 80s, you have what? Tintum Fazi?
Titi Bogot.
Titi Bogot, Then between the 70s and the early 90s, you then have your corporate men and women.
Okay. Never thought about that, yeah.
That's your Sesana Kumala, really quality women. And I'm not bashing women, but I'm trying to say something here. Then we have this new culture where I was speaking to young people a couple of weeks ago before I went on tour. I got hijacked to speak to young people. And I said something that was perceived as controversial. Somewhere in my conversation with young people, I said, young ladies, pull up them panties, lock them legs, and read a fucking book.
That is controversial.
Even
I wouldn't say that, bro.
Is it?
Yeah, no, that's deep, bro.
In South Africa, that's controversial.
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're not meant to say that as a man.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
we're not supposed to talk about women and panties.
It's
As
their
a man,
panties.
It's their panties.
No, it's a metaphor.
Yeah.
It's a metaphor. It says, when you look at the structure of family now, a guy like me, for example, who has been married 4 times, is being converted into a villain. So I go out to woods, okay, let me ask you something, South Africa, or maybe you guys, if you've read some shit about me, which has been orchestrated, I'll come to that. Would you prefer that I'm single, 50, 55, and in this case 58, and I convert your 27-year-old sister into a slave queen?
I prefer whatever makes you happy.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because the thing is, the kind of heroes that we're now creating as a society, that we're developing as a society, is a guy that's married, that has 2 side chicks, has a miserable, unhappy wife. The wife knows when he leaves here, he's going to send in. He's going to blow 30, 40 grand.
Got you.
Right? But the wife needs 5,000 for groceries, but you're going to give him shit.
And the
give
kids.
A cup, and the kids, né? But when that text come in while he's arguing with the wife wants 5,000 rands for grocery or whatever the figure is. When the text coming in says, I'll be in Sentin at 4 p.m., that brother knows he's out 15K. But that's your hero, right? Then a guy that's trying to build a family once or twice or 3 times is a villain. So that's more attractive to tabloid papers.
Why do you think you're a villain? I don't think anyone sees you as a villain.
Well, I mean, if you follow why he's asking me if I'm married 7, 8 times or whatever, if you look at the thinking, the psychology of that, is that there's something wrong with the guy that gets married once or twice or 3 times. There's nothing wrong with a woman that gets married once, twice or 3 times. Or 4 times, right? But the reason for that, I believe, is our philosophy as a society has become very skewed. We're Instagram, Kardashian type of society, where the type of young women who are grooming or growing are no longer on the basis of value. We're teaching young ladies to look for a guy that's got the Bentley, that will take care of your apartment.
But how does that affect you? Because you're not dating an Instagram girl that likes Bentleys. You're dating sophisticated women.
Well, first of all, I'm not dating. When I'm not in the marriage, I'll try to date. I try that shit. It's just not me. Yeah. But I've had quite dramatic marriages. Yeah.
Tell me about the smear campaign. So why was the smear campaign against you?
If you read any and everything about Lebo M that says 7, 8, 5, 10, there's only one reporter.
Oh.
Theo. Yeah? Our investigation has created and concluded a link between one of the angriest ex-wives I have, Nandi, that has a relationship with Theo that if I announce, let's say me and you are coming together, we're going to produce a movie, we're going to produce something, there's going to be something in the press about me that keeps this theme. He's married, he's not married, so you'll derail the positive work that we do domestically and around the world. And I can comfortably say that is sponsored by a very strange relationship between my ex-wife Nandi and
But why would
Theo.
you do that? Because I mean, you've got kids. If you eat
together, yes, your kids suffer if your back gets affected.
You see,
and her kids too.
You saw my reality show.
Yeah.
You see the relationship I have on screen with my son Tsepiso, even Refugee to some extent. The war, there's been a deeply emotional family war that was happening long before I even knew or even approved that we're going to do a reality show. That was on the basis of me learning that my son is impregnated a girl. When we got deeper into that, the idea that a mother could take the position that Nandi took, which was when I asked for DNA in Tosejwala, in the heist that happened in my house when this girl's family came, Bazo Bigisisu. The deal changed at my dinner table. Yeah. Bazo Bigisisu, and I ended up being asked to pay electricity for 200,000 rands.
What's Bigisisu?
To come in and declare that or introduce that they are pregnant to you, that our daughter is pregnant.
Yes.
You have damaged here.
So how do you end up paying 250,000 worth of electricity?
I'm trying to summarize. That's the first question I asked. But I'm just trying to make this simple and say the war between me and Nandi had been ongoing since our son died. Our son died in 2003.
Does she blame you?
Actually, to the contrary, when the papers started publicizing my son's death, it's before I got sober. In 2006, I then learned that my son was murdered.
Sure.
And when I brought in investigators, she started fight. She fought the investigation because she was basically negligent.
Yeah.
And she left my son 14-month-old son with a girl she had just hired and went to party with her lover. That's a long short of it.
The gigolo.
No, before the gigolo.
Jeez.
Oh, this is post.
Yeah, she was in a relationship with a girl that worked for me and I didn't know. Londiwe was her lover then. So that then becomes the motive.
Wait. So she leaves your son with a lady you don't know, I'm assuming.
I was at the country. On Sunday, she interviewed this young girl. The young girl start working at my house on Monday in Danefen.
Yeah.
I'm out the country. I land on Thursday. On Friday, my son dies. My son dies while I was conducting Lion King interviews here. At that time, she's in the car on her way to Durban with her lover.
With her lover, yeah.
Right. So obviously between 2004 and 2006, and I'll explain why I woke up to this thing in 2006. The whole situation that my son drowned in a swimming pool, it was questionable from day one.
So that was the cause of death?
No. I found out in 2006 when I saw the autopsy that my son was murdered. So I opened an investigation. She started fighting the investigation. Then we were successful with my investigators to find the girl that was there, and the trial started. She defended the girl. And that then resulted in the rollout of the smear campaign. So Zealandela listen to this. You understand what I'm saying? So all these years, long before the reality show, there's been that huge media smear campaign around me.
That's crazy.
Orchestrated by Nandi.
So do you think she had something to do with it?
With what?
With your son's death?
I believe now, because of the extent she's gone through to damage me publicly, damage my relationship with my son, and now my daughter Refile, and my grandson that I've seen only twice, that either she knows something or she's spent this kind of money, went to this extent to hide her role in the negligence and the death of the child. For example, she used to say to people, I claim she killed our son. I said, no, I never said that. I hold her negligently responsible for the death of my child with her. And the deeper she went in defending the nanny she claims she knew under oath in court, I always question, you interviewed her 10 minutes on Sunday, she starts working. On Monday, our child dies on Friday. Jeez, the girl gets arrested on Friday after it became clear that she lied that my son died in a bathtub. I'm making a very long story short. Yeah. So from that point on, when the girl gets arrested in 2004, when my son died, that girl now becomes what? A state property, so to speak, right? Yeah, she's a custodian of justice systems. So when we now start the trial of the girl, which you didn't support, how then do you defend the girl and you claim you know her and you forgive her under oath, which then made basically put the judge under a gun, where the judge could only, she pleaded mercy for the girl. So instead of girl doing time, she shut down the investigation and the trial, and the girl was charged with 1 year in prison or 3,000 and some change. The girl walked. So my point being, I used to be ambivalent about whether or not she knows something. Because my position before 2006 was that she's negligently responsible. At
what point do you decide, let me get my own investigators in this?
I got arrested in Los Angeles in 2005 when she and her then married gigolo set me up.
They set you up?
Yeah.
This is a movie, man.
I was facing 7 years in state prison in America while I was building the Lion King South Africa. And no one knows. This is the first time I talk about this. I survived that. I was found not guilty for arson. I was found not guilty for battery. And I flew to South Africa in 2006 and started working on Lion King. Which then was, that goes now to why I'm 17 years sober. When I got arrested, I was charged with arson and battery. That went away. The judge said not guilty. The conclusion in the summary is that I was set up by my then wife and her married lover. when I started rebuilding my life, when I left rehab, the clinical psychologist said they've checked my history of pain. My brother died, that was painful. My best friend died, that was painful. But I had not really dealt with my son's death. So they asked me, have I seen my son's autopsy? I said, no, I don't. Actually, it doesn't matter. I buried my son. When I landed here, I went straight to Douglasdale Police Station and saw the autopsy, and I pretty much fell apart. At 14 months, they found a hole this big. My son was violated. And the autopsy states that he was recently sexually violated.
No ways.
Yeah, that's not in the news. So when I start now to investigate, the mother, Nandine Love, went after me, claiming it's not going to bring my child back. I said, no, I'm not trying to bring the son back. I want to know what happened in my house. I want to know what happened to our son. So the war in the media has been purely based on that, all the way to the reality show. Yeah. So, you know, when you're raising children under such difficult circumstances, you buy time. Yeah. So I survived that in Los Angeles, and till today, I don't have closure on my son's death.
Sure, and as a father, you need that.
Which I now confirm is murder. I had sent her the autopsy. She simply just say, it won't bring the child back. And I simply say, I'm not trying to bring the child back. I want to know what happened in my house. I want to know what happened to our child. So when someone declares war with you under those circumstances, and ultimately during the trial of this girl goes under oath to protect the girl from being sentenced to life in prison, whatever, something is cooking there.
What do you think the motive is? Do you think the aim is to get you out of the picture so she can keep all the money?
I don't think it's related to money. I truly believe now, years later, that the fear has always been the discussion around what happened when this young man died, this toddler died, and her role, her negligent role in it, would come out. And as a result, you have a mother who's committed to destroy me publicly with a clearly defined smear campaign. I think hoping that I'll hit the bottle and hit the bar. I was very suicidal in rehab, but I survived all of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is you.
Huh?
This is you.
This is me, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah? So now, here we are. My homeboy here says I've been married 100 times.
Hey, you never forget
it's what
that.
I read, man.
Yeah, no.
I'm just a victim, you know, of your smear campaign, and I'm reading it.
No, that's true.
Misinformation.
No, that's true. That's not
Fake
you.
news.
Yeah,
That's
fake
not you.
news.
No, that's not you. That's not you alone.
Yeah.
It's the entire fucking country.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, believe this, believe
It's the
that.
narrative.
It's a narrative, and it's
But
out
then,
there.
that's why, to me, it would make sense to make a reality show like you did to change the narrative, but it seems like that didn't go well as well.
Yeah, that didn't go well. That went south. The reality show, let me explain how the reality show came about. I was just being given my first Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah. One of many. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
One of many.
So,
Ever gotten that, so?
Oh, man, I'm still young, bro. I need to hit 41, quit drinking for 17 years, and, you know, get my life in order, make a couple of millions, get married 3 times. It's coming. It's coming.
but before that, you need to hit the nearest fucking rehab.
Yes.
Don't
forgot
forget the
that
rehab,
part. Yes.
See, the problem with okay, I'll come back to that. What was the question?
Reality show. Yes.
Yeah. So I flew all my kids from all over, really excited, celebrating my first Lifetime Achievement
Whose
Award.
idea for the reality? Was it your idea?
It was not mine.
Okay.
It was not mine. Actually, the brothers that were in my space then, they were shooting, they had cameras just documenting for the family the exciting moment, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And these young guys went and pitched this thing. Yeah, so when they came back to me in how they pitched it, it was really good pitch. Hey, Mr. M, nobody knows you, nobody knows. They only know you as the Lion King guy.
100%.
You know, so post-COVID, it would be awesome that, because you have a very dynamic family, you know. And I say, yeah, I like it. You know, they even went as far as you can be the Bill Cosby of the country. People will be really watching your life unfold.
They were not far from it because I got to know you via the reality show.
Part of me.
Yes,
to know part of me. Yeah. Now, what happens is, this is now after lockdown, and there's so much drama happening behind the scenes. By the way, then I have very talented kids. You know, Refilwe, Tsepiso, Mtunzi, even Ketso. I figured, let's do it because I like conversations.
Yeah.
And in fact, one of the reasons is like most people don't know my views about life.
Yes.
You know,
your deals,
my businesses, my passion about being South African, about South Africa, the politics and everything. So we laugh, we talk about life. So they were taping all of this, and they created what do you call it? The shit that you take to the channel. Pilot.
Yes.
Yeah, which was great. Now, when we start shooting, the two hyenas, my ex-wives, had their own agenda.
This is Nandi and Angela.
And Angela, yeah. Oh. They had their own agenda. Like I said earlier, it's at the point where I'm now helping Angela for the third time, who was going through a very devastating time, and it was affecting the children. She couldn't get access to my daughter with her. So
when you say help, what do you mean? Like, are you taking her from the streets? Like, what do you mean?
Anyway, Talinda is questionable, you know. And the thing about this is how we as society are very quick to point a finger at men. Yeah? And there are really, really horrible men out there. There are horrible fathers out there. There are horrible husbands out there. But equally, there are horrible mothers out there. You know? That probably do some of the most fucked up things you can ever imagine. So look at it this way. First phase, Angela's kids, Mtunzen kids, will enter my life. This is the first time, the first 5.5 years, they have a normal life.
Yeah.
Since birth. What is a normal life? Safety, food, best schools, drivers, and things like that. Then when we divorce...
No, that's not normal, that's soft. It's called soft.
Drivers, when you go to drivers, that ceases to be normal.
It's the other problem I have with us black people.
Yeah.
The idea that you don't deserve a good life.
Oh, yes. Yes.
The idea that you work so hard.
Yes.
You work so hard.
Got you.
You work so hard. Why do you work so hard? So that when you have children,
yes, you can
they don't go through life to the extent to which you went
100%.
through.
Yes, true.
So now we're so brainwashed into believing that Masuwenzi knew Uvailokshin. Sweet soft.
Yeah, sweet soft.
Yeah? But is that real or not? Yeah? Every child deserves safety. Every child deserves good food. Every child deserves a healthy and safe environment. Right?
Love.
Now, love. Yeah? Now, when you put children through the kind of journey that some of the children that have entered my life have gone through because of their mothers, you're creating a pretty much an environment that creates more monsters.
Oh,
you understand? Okay. So when I painfully reflect now on my children, Mtunzi and Ketso, that are not born from me, but they've been in my life for 12 years in and out. Good life. 3 years divorce, you're all over. Ne? Oled la kona nje. Begu itama lako leli. Aksase itama lako. Mbuye itama lako leli. Aksase itama lako. No? So that psychological impact on children is devastating.
Yeah, the trauma messes them up.
As a society, we're not looking at the role of the mother. We're looking at the role of the man. In this case, judge me. Right? But no one ever says, but Angela, we're in it for the second time or the third time. Dragging your kids in and out. Before you know it, last I came back here a couple of months ago, Mtunzi is out beating up a girlfriend.
Sure.
You know, it's trendy. What's the problem?
Yes, that made the news, ne?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice small. That's 3-4 months after she left with them in my house. We're no longer, no ties, because they're adults now. But when the newspapers pick it up, Lebo M steps son.
Of course.
Yeah, so I'm
your name sells the paper.
The subject.
Yeah, I'm implicated in things that have nothing to do with me.
Of course.
But it's painful to me because I know these kids, right? No one is saying anything good or bad. I'm just saying as a society, we need to reflect on the various dynamics that we put children through. So maboni ntwana am lapa ku reality show le ntwana ya telela blah blah blah. Can't you see the first scene when I met Tsepiso? It's the first time I see him.
For real?
Yeah,
Ever?
In more than almost a year.
Whoa.
Because le ntwana le got captured by the girl that he impregnated and her family.
The like 250,000 electricity.
Yeah. That one.
Did you pay for that, by the way?
Hell no. But Nandi did.
Whoa.
Ne? So why? If the discussion is around my son Tsepiso impregnating the child, their daughter, they come to my house, what's the figure for the damages? Let's call it damages.
Of course.
Ne? But no man, as in Talebs, I sense so. Lentwana is Pani, that's my son.
Okay.
Motherfucker should not be working. He's my only son. He's inheriting all this shit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah? And the daughter, Agaspani. Ne? The mother, the Agaspani. The grandma Agaspani. So you pay lento lang. It manji minangena go plap. Then I commit. I'll help with the pregnancy. Blah blah blah. What I learned is the mother yalento mazana mabetse to humble apagwitina because I now made a commitment. And my commitment was I need trust the Olidla Lentomazan. Yeah, hardcore hustler. Hardcore.
And you've been all around the world. You can see a hustler from a mile away.
I lived in South Central LA. I could see this. So I state my case. Or okay, kibata DNA. But my first red flag is when they teamed up my son with their daughter. Baribatus. Uzegwa nizobigi sisu. Of
course.
Yeah. Now, when you change the deal and change tradition and culture, it's a red flag for me.
Of course.
I'm not saying that immediately because it's the first time I meet these people and I'm learning them. Before that, it's been all kinds of drama. I mean, any time that goes inside Instagram and check straight up.
And you can see. And it's your only son.
Pussy whipped.
Pussy whipped, yeah, man.
Yeah? But more than that, this girl was...
Don't save her.
This girl, that's a theme.
You don't want to be...
Not serious.
That's why. Now I'm getting the theme.
Yeah. So now, as a father, and my team and my niece and nephew were investigating, in fact, Refilo investigated this girl. And found out that when Tsepiso walked into this party, this girl was actually dating Refilo's ex-boyfriend, dumped him the same day Tsepiso walked into a party and claims she doesn't know who Tsepiso is. So yeah? I'm an investigator. That's a father supposed to do.
Of course.
Yeah? So ngale scheme sabo so now I learned the same day of dinner. It only Tomazan. Liluisa u aunt ukuthi why Mr. Morake ayenze wena ukuthi ube in charge nemali. When I looked at the dinner, I said, okay, this one's got a job. That's the aunt that flew in from PE. Can't think of a name now because I'll say the damn name. I thought, okay, wena with my lady who was the lady of the house then, you will handle the money, I'll handle everything. Before they even leave Blair Athol, they start fighting over why I made a decision to have the aunt that's got a job handling money. That's the second red flag for me. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that's the only time I've ever met the mother.
Since then, you've never met them?
Never. Ordinarily, if the two families have met under the auspices of the pregnancy.
Of course.
If already in a small, you don't need a third party.
No.
You just call and say, Mr. Morake, can we have lunch or whatever? Talk about the fact that I'm not happy that you've assigned my younger sister to handle this financial transaction. She never did. Ngala, the chief architect of this whole thing, Nandi, when this whole, in fact, into electricity, I'm traveling, just send a list of everything that the pregnancy would need. She was 5 months pregnant, the girl. The list that came with the nappies and all that shit was 200,000 rands for electricity.
Imagine.
I don't pay more than 10 grand electricity.
Yeah.
I thought it was a fluke, actually. I thought it was a joke until my team showed me the electricity bill. So I refused to pay that, which allowed Nandi to come in and pay. She's based in Los Angeles. So you'd have to say, what's the motive for that? The motive is now clear. The boy is 2 years old. The motive was to make sure that Tsepiso goes against me. Tsepiso and this girl end up. There's a part lentana as there's a part lentana in the show. So it's not my girlfriend, it's my fiance.
Yeah, I remember.
Now, as a father, I'm aware that there's cameras here. That's all. And I'm like, so I had to come up with a way of running away. I said, you must never talk to me like that, blah, blah, blah. And I left. Before Tsepiso met this girl, he was in therapy. You understand? So I know my son, then and now.
Therapy for what?
He had trouble.
Trauma.
Trauma, whatever. I had just moved him from Los Angeles, and he had gotten himself into some shit in LA. So I cleared that with my lawyers, brought him here to rebuild his life. That's when this little hyena comes in.
Little hyena.
Now, the things I'm telling you, I'm very comfortable with it because they're on tape.
Sure.
When Refugio now investigates the girl, talking to the boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, who's now this girl's boyfriend, that she dumps when she meets Tsepiso. The young man on tape says, hey, I'm confused because I was with the girl last week and I'm saying like, listen, I'm ready, I want to have kids and stuff like that. The girl says to the young man, no, I don't want kids for about 2 years, but suddenly she's pregnant with my son 2 months later. So as a father, I'm not supposed to question these things. So they all gang up on me. You understand?
But do you blame her though? I mean, listen, do you blame her or her family? You are Mr. M, Lebo M, Lion King. Man, I'd have your grandsons. I mean, that's a paycheck for life. Am I lying so?
Yeah, of course. He jackpot.
And I'm sure you've been and you've seen that, and it's been part of your life. It's like the gift and the curse.
Yeah, even you. Maybe when the times you were single, they found out you just divorced. You'll have ladies throwing themselves.
I understand. You see, that I try to look at that from a societal point of view.
Sure.
Né? I agree with you. It's not the girl. She's just as much as a victim. It's the girl's family. It's the girl's mother. It's the girl's aunt. It's the girl's uncle who showed up 2 years later. Long booze, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
After that dinner. But this little motherfucker shows up 2 years later. We had a meeting. Blah, blah, blah. A week later, say, I'm Luis. I'm trying to find a way to say, this is about me and my son, but it's about society.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Ogoti, if you see this girl on my reality show, you've seen it, ne?
Yeah.
Even my daughters are but yeah. You understand? Now, if you are a mother or an uncle and you're watching this show and the things this girl say about me on my reality show while she's on a fucking couch in an apartment that I'm paying for.
Yes.
It says something about the family she comes from.
Oh, I get what you mean.
Do you understand? The fact that I'm sitting here, the DNA grandchild is 2 years now. When my mother asks to see the grandchild, the girl's terms and conditions are as follows. For any of the Morakes, me included and my mother, to see Tsepiso's son, she must be there. Now, what kind of family allows their daughter to do that when, in fact, from birth, Lomtanaga Tsepiso is with them 24 hours a day?
Do you think your son is the father?
I know the son is the father because I demanded DNA, which drove everybody crazy. Yeah? But it's what happens behind the scenes and orchestrated by whom? The two mothers. Nandi has a motive. The motive is destroy my relationship with Tsepiso. Now my relationship with Tsepiso and my grandson.
Is your relationship...
And the other one is this girl's mother.
Is your relationship with your son not that strong where you can sit him down and like, in Dwana, this is what's going on?
Is non-existent now. It's non-existent.
Right now, as it stands?
Non-existent.
Yeah.
So who's paying for the flats and stuff?
I removed him from everywhere.
Your only son?
Yeah.
It's that bad, Brad Libs.
That's harsh.
What's harsh?
Removing your only son from...
I understand.
Especially if maybe he's been mentally influenced.
We must remember I have been with my son from birth. Né? And there's so much that I've gone through to protect him.
For sure.
I won Tepiso in the LA court when he was age 12. When the mother, Nandi, left him to come party with boyfriends in South Africa, I flew to Los Angeles. Now Tepiso, school day, everywhere. So I went to court and won him. Moved him to South Africa. This is like the third or fourth time when I move him now to safety. Took him to Lebo, and the rest is history. So you can do only so much for your children. When it begins to affect you publicly the way it's done, the way he orchestrated by Nandi, has basically allowed this young girl and this young girl's family to disrespect me, you can only do so much. So you have to wait as a parent until either he wakes up or realizes, oh, before you know it, the boy is married.
Is he married now?
I saw it in the papers, bro.
You were not invited?
No.
Whoa, without your blessing.
Yeah, so you understand, that's beyond the show. At 24, he impregnates a girl, has a son. They refuse access of the son to my entire family. My mother can leave Earth anytime. And he announces in my show that he's engaged. Before you know it, bam, someone, the mothers, Nandi and this girl's mother, authorized him and this girl to get married. So how then do I create any kind of healthy relationship with my son or my daughter under those circumstances?
Does a part of you envy your son because he's managed to do what you couldn't do, which is stay loyal to a woman, one woman?
If I thought, which I don't, if I thought and felt very strongly in my heart of hearts that this is all him, I'll go full out to support him. Okay. Do you understand?
Got you.
So it's not whether I envy him. In fact, what do you mean he's done what I couldn't do?
Hey, I was surprised that wasn't the reaction when you asked the first time.
No, but think about it.
Think about what?
Like with all the bullshit that's going on, he's still committed to his woman. Right or wrong? Right or wrong?
Committed to his woman?
Yes.
How do you know that?
They're married.
What does that mean?
It means he's committed.
What the fuck that mean?
Ow, Sol.
No, what he's asking is, how do you know he's faithful, for example, or that there's no problems or troubles?
No, that's not what I'm asking.
Oh, then he's right then. He was married, he's committed.
There's no sign of more commitment than marriage.
Yeah, it's the ultimate commitment.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Né? Would you marry a woman? Oh, I mean, because I don't know.
No, woman.
How? It took too long to answer, bro.
It's 2022. You got to check.
Yeah. Ask my pronoun.
Let me find another way to qualify this. I read somewhere where this young lady says, my father-in-law. What qualifies you to be father-in-law is you participated in this entire process.
Yeah, true. Do
you understand? The family, her family, and my family have discussed the various, especially for us South Africans, we have this tradition in Tunjal. Now, I can't say he's happily married or not. You're right, it's none of my business. I was not there. So I don't have a daughter-in-law. I will only recognize anything that I participate in fully as a father. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's of no significance to me whatsoever if he's happily married or not. I'm not party to it.
Before we move on, your reality show, what was real and what was scripted?
None of it was scripted. In fact, this was one of my greatest experiences. It was the first time in my career I get involved in something that I technically don't understand.
Okay.
You know, the process of putting together a reality show was absolutely awesome and amazing to me. Yeah?
But I remember you said that there'd be times where just before you go on air, Angela would say something. I'm paraphrasing here.
Yeah. Oh, no, you don't have to paraphrase. I'm here.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
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 I'm fucking paraphrasing. Yeah. Here's the thing that's very sad. Yeah. Is everyone that knows Angela and me privately will tell you that the character that you experience on that reality show, it's not Angela.
Because she was portrayed as an angel and you were the villain.
Yeah, I'm the villain. I'll give you the time I trended the most was when we were having this argument.
Yes.
He kept South African cap and we were walking.
Danko.
There was so much emotion going on through there before the cameras got lit. That afternoon, as the team was setting up to record, there was a discussion that ended up being a debate. You understand? Now, I'm dealing with that. I'm also dealing with Sepiso. I'm also dealing with all of it. So the emotion that you see from the first to the last of me, that's me, unapologetically so, and as real as I can be. Ask anybody that knows me. You understand? Now, when you see a person that you live with or sharing a home with be a different character on camera in your fucking show, the emotion is real. Yeah? Now, I realized then the third comeback was, the dumb thing is, I brought you back to set you up. Now, first time in a marriage, I said, first 5 years, hey, what do you want to do? Cosmetics. I set up a cosmetics company for her. Yeah? It didn't go anywhere. The second time in the marriage...
You did a launch even.
Huh?
You did a launch.
I even did a launch, yeah. Second time of the marriage, what do you want to do now? Travel agents. Set that up. Third time of the marriage...
Go anywhere.
Didn't go anywhere. No, it didn't. It didn't. Man. Third time, manje, everything choose you see. What do you want to do now? I have this idea that I put up all the money. And we were not in a relationship. But go watch the show again. You don't see me and Angela holding hands. We're sharing a home because I was helping her.
How much final say do you have in what comes out, what we saw? Didn't you have any input?
No, that's it. The thing is, being echo. Yeah, the process of editing this reality show was left to the executive creative producer.
Oh, so you're no input.
I technically, as co-executive producer, I should have had input, but I left the custodianship of this property to the executive creative producer. The director finished everything and delivered it to the executive creative producer.
So are there moments that they captured where you were an angel and she was a villain, but chose not to put it to push a certain narrative?
No, but that's not the important part. The important part is, by the time Lento drops on air, I'm out the country.
Yeah.
Mang Lendala, this thing is trending heavily. I'm the villain, right? Obviously, internally, when we look at this whole thing, we realize that a lot of people dropped the ball. But there's nothing you can do about it. Because I actually, as a matter of fact, I don't blame anybody that has an opinion about this show, because it's based on what you see. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? If you have if you have an opinion about Lebo M and all of that, it is what it is. It's what you saw from episode 1 to episode 10. You don't know what's happening behind the scenes. So the editing or the final product, I was not there. Yeah. It was edited differently, very tabloid-like. Yeah. Right? That's somebody else's problem. But the reality is left on me. It's on my shoulder. Yeah. And now, if you have a big show like that, it was a third show, I believe, Showmax did. Yeah, and there was no PR strategy before and after it was dropped. With Magone Smoke so wins that. I landed to basically a war zone. Yeah? So there's been talk about season 2, but I've been back and forth about it. But my point is, by the time this show drops, in fact, we don't have it. I could describe so many scenes that are happening in that show, which this is her, this is not her. And when you look at the family meetings that we had behind the scenes after the show, where Angela's saying, you know I messed up, I want to fix this, I want to fix that. That's neither here or there. The world only sees what they see.
Of course.
The emotions behind that entire show are based on my pain as a father, on and off screen. Looking at people. Let me give you an example. Nandi sent a lawyer letter to the producers. You will not mention anything about Nandi in your reality show. But go watch the show again. When the director had this brilliant idea in my absence that there's going to be a scene where Refilio calls her mother and talks about the song.
Yes.
Yeah?
She was in the UK, I think.
No, she was somewhere in Chicago.
Oh, Chicago.
In America.
Yes.
Now, think. Why would someone send a lawyer letter? That's also happily married, by the way. You know, to the gigolo.
They're still together?
Yeah.
Damn.
It sustains that kind of shit. Yeah. Now,
I don't understand that. What do you mean? Like your...
no, she earned a lot of money from the divorce.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
How she
Yeah.
When she was using your money for a gigolo, but now she's paying Ukesi for 200K and bankrolling, obviously, even the son's lifestyle now.
$20,000 a month is in rent.
Yeah. Hey, that's that's over half a bar.
I'd be a fucking gigolo myself.
Damn.
But
that's why I said I'd divorce you happily.
No, I'm broke now. No, trust me, right now I'm broke. That's why Angela ran. So I'm rebuilding now. You derail me. Anytime you have a scenario where interfamily relations are now dictated by money or lack thereof, values go out the window.
Yeah.
You have children that become victims of that. Privately, not so, but my children, especially Tsepiso, became a victim of these circumstances very publicly. It pains me to see Tsepiso on the show. Ask anyone in a family that knows Tsepiso. That's not Tsepiso. So one has to deal with all these things, and being a high-profile person, having had to deal with this over a decade campaign that I've been avoiding until now, that actually, when you look at what Nandi on the reality show says, remember, she sent a lawyer letter, which I'll send to you, that we should not involve them. Now, she's supposed to get on the show to talk about his daughter's music. Go watch it again. The first thing she says is, so now who's at Blair? At Blair, meaning the home I was sharing at this point with Angela and the kids. But she knew, she knew that Angela is there, right? But she wanted to create, her last words was, oh, I'm glad Angela is there because he won't fuck with me anymore, giving the impression that I'm in her life. I haven't spoken to her for over 4 years. We talked through lawyers because we have over millions of dollars in litigation in America. So she used this opportunity, and you'll see Refilwe, who's now playing a different game, saying, hey, she says something. Hey, she knows what she was saying. You understand? So you send an email through lawyers, don't mention me, but you end up in the show.
I want to get to the music shortly, but before that, now I got a couple of questions that hopefully you can answer like as quick as possible. Yeah. Because I really want to get to the music. Cool. Because it's legendary, you know. But before that, what was the longest time you were single after a divorce or breakup?
About 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
Ah, you did 3 years?
Yeah.
What were you doing during those 3 years? Just random women?
Relaxing, dating, yeah.
And dating, eh? Yeah. Just seeing the surface?
Yeah. Yeah. I've had a great time.
Ne?
Yeah. You have a problem with it?
No. Which wife was the most genuine looking back in hindsight?
Fuck, man. None until now.
Until this one now?
Yeah. Okay. I'm very lucky.
How did we meet this one?
We've known each other for over a decade. She's been a friend. When we tried to hook up, she had her own situation, I had mine.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks to the reality show, she was watching it.
Dope.
Wangibhela.
Speaking of your
Wenza.
what you doing?
Mina njengawuchasika ngathi wena wenza. Le situation yami iphelile ngathi nami yabona iphelile. What do you want to do? Send us cards.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Awesome.
Speaking of your marriages, right? Because like when you tell the stories, it's as if all the wives had flaws, and they did, as you mentioned. One cheated, the other was violent. But what were your flaws contributing to that divorce, or was it just their faults?
That's a good one. My flaws, most hectic, is my first and second wife, Nandi and Vivica. Yeah, pretty much. It's almost. I don't want this to sound like an excuse, but it's reality. I shouldn't have been married.
You were ready for that.
Yeah. That's how I know Sepiso shouldn't be married.
Yes, from experience.
Yeah.
That's how Nandi should know Sepiso shouldn't be married.
Oh, I got you.
You understand? First wife, it was we were in exile. It was a community orchestrated marriage. No, Nandi's marriage. Né? So that's reality. That comes and goes. My flaws were she had her own clubs. I was partying. The height of my drinking was when I was co-owner of Kilimanjaro, right here in Melrose Arch. Yeah. It's the most dramatic. That's when Nandi and Lebo were doing any and everybody. Mezcal, proper, not this whisper in. So, and I always want to make sure that my divorce with Nandi has nothing to do with the death of my son. Né? So, but at some point in life, as adults, I stopped carrying Nandi's cross by holding myself responsible for the mess of the marriage.
What was your oldest night at Kilimanjaro? Just one night where it was just like crazy.
No, not the kind of like, it's the drinking.
Yeah. And you never dabbled in cocaine?
Never.
So just drinking?
Yeah, my only two vices was the ladies and alcohol.
You're not the Lion King.
I think if I had danced anywhere near cocaine or any drugs, I would have been long dead.
Would you ever like sleep with like 3 ladies in one night?
Been there, done that.
Shit, my dog.
What do you mean 3 ladies?
3 is nothing.
Yeah. I produce orgies.
It's the circle of life. And you're standing in the middle while they form a circle around him.
No, but here's the key thing though. I don't have a problem saying that.
Yeah.
Nah? I have a problem with not living your full truth.
Got you.
Yeah.
That is not me now. You understand? And anyone that does those kind of things, whether it's a threesome, as an orgy, no normal person does that kind of thing without being under the influence of something.
Yes.
True. You understand?
Like just sober and you wake up.
No, you don't wake up, hey, let's block this off. You understand?
Got you.
But that's a reality. Some of the things we have to deal with as a society. My friends, we are the most, I would say, comfortably. Alcoholism in South Africa, before you even get to drugs, is our worst enemy. What's sad is we're in denial. Some of the most powerful people in this country, business and politicians, are the worst fucking alcoholics I've ever seen. Functional alcoholics. I was a functional alcoholic.
Same.
Yeah, I was a functional alcoholic. Yet, because it's powerful people that do these things, they're able to hide behind how miserable you are when you do this.
Trauma plays a lot as well.
Yeah, it's traumatic. I mean, I love it. I know where I'm waking up. I know what I said last night. I know what I'm saying now.
What were you drinking? Whiskey, gin?
I was a high quality liquor type of person.
Most expensive bottle you ever drank?
Courvoisier.
Courvoisier.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
Courvoisier.
Which one is that?
It's not that expensive.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a humble drink
the old
for
school. I'm not
a
as
rich guy.
dumb as you motherfuckers are.
Yeah, true.
See, now when we say we're splurging, that's 3 champagnes. Yeah? And one of those is Moet. The other one is, girl, do you even know what you're drinking? That's Hugh Dormances now. You know, you guys get so played. Ace of what? What the fuck? How much is that?
Yeah.
You know, in our era, we are calculating drunks.
Yeah.
There's more way. That's for the special girl. What's the other one?
Yeah.
Mom.
You don't even know the name. Of it.
We don't drink
What?
champagne,
Yeah, Verve.
Nah,
Crown.
No, man, the cheap shit.
Crown is not champagne.
Yeah.
Hey, Mac. Embarrassing us here, man.
Uber embarrassed. You're so embarrassed for being an idiot.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do I mean by that? It's the kind of money brothers are blowing now.
True.
To impress who I don't know. You go to a club. There's this new culture. And the girls are playing you, by the way.
Yeah.
They're playing the fuck out of you. Yeah. The idiots will be in that table with two. There's this that. They're keeping you. And there's this other new culture. It's the dumbest neo-colonialistic culture I've ever seen. December motherfuckers, this is how much I spent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Posted.
The slips.
That makes you the dumbest human being alive.
Yeah, I agree.
When you think you are the hippest, you are the dumbest motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, the post, I just blew 200,000 rent with a girl. Which one?
She's gone. Her boyfriend picked her up.
Yeah, you understand?
Right.
So there's so much we need to evaluate as a society.
Yeah.
While we're placing, I'm not placing judgment on you.
I get you.
Yeah. I'm saying, get your drink on.
Yeah.
But
be smart.
exercise a bit of intelligence, not smart. Exercise a bit of intelligence.
Most lobola you have ever paid?
None.
You haven't paid lobola?
Until now.
You haven't paid lobola?
Until now.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you married 3 times not paying lobola.
First time, I was married to an American.
Oh, okay. There's no lobola.
Second time, I got married to Nandi in exile. Right? We came here, a married couple. Third time, Angela didn't have family. I had to find her father.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, we rented her uncle to play father.
Oh, wow.
You understand? So now, I'm so lucky and so blessed. Everything is done to the book.
Let's get to the Lion King.
But why is that important?
What?
How much money you spend on lobola?
My woman said I must ask you that because she likes the show.
Huh?
So you must ask her. I'm just doing as I'm told. Happy wife, happy
good
home.
save. Good
Hey,
save.
you must go ask her why. Go ask her why is that important.
I'll ask her.
And send me a text and I'll respond.
No, we'll have a WhatsApp group chat. How about that?
Nah, she's not gonna like me after that. Because I'll answer simply. Said, what does it matter if it's 200,000 or 10 or 20 million? What does it matter?
Yeah.
We need to really, and me included, get to evaluate who we are, our culture and society. Because if we're going to be doing things like lobola on a basis of cash, is this how the shit started 100 years ago? Yes, we're not living 100 years ago, but what was the principle behind it?
What was the motive?
Yeah. If anybody comes to me now and said 200,000-300,000 lobola, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, because if it's going to that uncle that was not there from age 2, fuck you, go get a job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now we have become so abusive to culture. So we've become so abusive to self. I don't even know if we know what kind of future, kind of society we want. Yeah? So I'm going to go ask the lady, I will respectfully respond.
Got you. No, got you. Let's talk about the Lion King, man. So how does that come about? Because we had Zwai Bala a few weeks back, and we're talking about like, what's it called? Scripting. What's it called? Scores. So we're trying to calculate how much you're making just from the Lion King. We came to the amount that Zwai said you own 5% of the whole production, right? You'll correct us if we're wrong. And
where the fuck does he get that from?
Well, that's what he said.
Hey,
and he said it made $20 million?
Yeah.
So we're like, damn.
Who made $20 million?
You.
Ask him where he got that from.
No, 5% of $20 million.
Yeah, but where does he get the 5% to start with?
That's
and
what
the
he said.
20 million.
So how do you make money from the Lion King? Like,
I ain't gonna tell you that.
Because we know, because we before the movie that came out now, the remake, we know one movie, and it came out like in the 90s, but it's still generating money till today.
So we just understand how it works.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand.
The business of the Lion
I'm
King.
joking, but I understand.
Yeah.
I'm one of the 4 principal original composers of the Lion King movie 1994 is myself, Elton John, Tim Rice, and Hans Zimmer.
Whoa, Hans Zimmer.
Right? The original 1994 score is us.
Okay.
Yeah? Then that gets translated into the Broadway production.
Okay.
Right? In between the Broadway production and the original Lion King movie, my first and only solo album called Rhythm of the Pride Lands was released.
Yes.
Inspired by the music of the Lion King.
Okay.
Right? And I wrote a lot more songs for that album, which then became part of the major songs on the Broadway productions, like He Lives in You, Endless Night, and all those things. So from a royalty-based point of view,
yes,
and how the deal works is more what deal was closed on the original movie.
Oh.
Right? And those splits and those percentages and the publishing and all those things then gets transferred to the next franchise, to the next franchise. So it's never the same. It doesn't matter. So I don't understand how anybody would know that I own 5%. Own 5% of what? Yeah. I'm co-owner of the Circle of Life. Yeah. I own 50% of that myself and Hans because we created it together. Right? And inside the score, there are very many other dynamics that determine how the score is split. Yeah, so you got a 1994, and I did so many other versions of it, and the Broadway production.
So what did Elton John do? What did Hans do in the song?
That's a very important song. Elton John and Tim Rice wrote 5 songs. Yeah, that's it. Hans Zimmer, Lebo and Tim the score. Right? Like there's this new movie coming out called Woman King.
Yeah.
I wrote 5 songs there. Right? Not the score. Somebody else did the score. So
I'm confused there. What is
yeah. See, from the day we arrived on this, but that's a song. Right? So you do a deal based on the songs.
Okay.
I'm just trying to use Elton and Tim as an example.
Sure.
Right, they wrote 5 songs, Circle of Life, Can You Feel the Love Tonight, and 3 others, right? The world knows the most popular, Circle of Life and Can You Feel the Love.
Can You Feel the Love?
Then the score, composer Hans gets hired to write the underscore. That's where, you know, the music that plays underneath. Yeah. I'm heavily involved in that as co-writer and arranger, co-arranger of that. That's a separate deal.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you know what a score is?
Yeah.
Does it make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Explain.
The score is like the glue throughout the whole movie that connects all the songs. The songs are the items connected by the score. So in between the songs, you'll have the
stuff
score.
That you hear that you don't hear.
The strings, the suspense.
Yeah, somebody's about to be killed and music.
The suspense and the crescendo.
The score creates the atmosphere. For
yes.
the movie.
It's the bed of the movie.
So you
with
did
songs
that.
in between.
It's a lot more important probably than the songs, because the songs, you hear a song here,
yes,
you hear a song there.
Yes.
For example, in 2019 Lion King movie, where I don't know if you've seen it, where Simba now turns around to go to take over Pride Land.
Yes.
You will hear 2 songs in one. You'll hear Beyonce's song and you hear my song, He Lives in You.
Yes.
Those are songs. They are not part of the scores.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I pretty much do both.
So now, if I want to start a Lion King production, let's say in Venda or whatever, some of the money has to come to you if I'm using your score and your songs.
It depends when you say you want to start the Lion King. I'll give you an example, which I talk about, but most people don't understand.
Yeah.
For the Broadway production of the Lion King, an investment of well over $25 million to mount the Lion King is what Disney invested. So say plus minus $20 million. Right?
Just for the set.
To build it.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
So if you say, I've had so many people call me, want to do the Lion King, you have $10 million. It's expensive. No, it's not. It's the quality of the product versus the amount of money you put to create that quality of product and make the money. Okay. So, for example, if Disney has invested $20 million for the Broadway production alone, in its 15th year, they've grossed about more than $5 billion.
Jeez.
You understand? So we're not yet at the level where South African businesses, South African political minds really understand what needs to happen to create the type of quality product.
Got you.
That becomes globally competitive.
Yes.
I get people that, hey, Nyashata next week is the Lion King.
How did?
Well, it's true. Yeah.
How did you manage to get the paperwork, like regarding your input, your royalties, what's owed to you? Like, how did you get it in '94? I mean, this is '94. In 2022, '94. How did you get your paperwork right?
Well, it's not as easy as it sounds. You invest a great deal of money with lawyers and management. That's who secures your future. Not your talent,
but
not your music.
What he's asking is, how did you know at '94 that I gotta get my lawyers in order?
Did someone say,
because Hans could have easily taken that song.
No, I got fucked.
And now you've got a score to settle.
Let me explain something. The Power of One is my first movie. Between Lion King and Power of One, I did 4 or 5 other movies.
Oh,
right. And the second time I team up with Hans is the Lion King.
So you were fucked before Lion King?
Long before. Yeah. So as you go, you learn and you do the right thing. And I learned that when you get $100, just as a metaphor, make sure you spend $70 on lawyers. Because your profit into the future, your money is what the kind of deal the lawyers make.
Well, how did you get fucked the first time?
Oh shit! Even with Lion King, I didn't know much. I was hungry, and I just wanted to do the job, right? But you grow. You lose a lot in order to gain something.
So you're saying with Lion King you should have gotten more percentage?
A whole lot more, yeah.
Jeez.
Why can't you fix that now, though? Or when you realize that, hold on, I can get more.
LA is different. You have to be smart. You have to be strategic. You have to have the right advisors. You have to have the right management and right lawyers. Say, leave that one alone. Go after this one. Leave this one alone. You know, it's team. It's not me. I'm not that smart. Yeah. You know, but you rely heavily. See what happens here at home. We have the biggest fucking problem. Okay. Labeling.
Hey, Zai said the same thing.
Yeah, we label people legends too quickly. We label people. I appreciate and I love the sentiment. Refer to a legend, right? But it's very uncomfortable because I don't want to continue the culture of messing great musicians up. A legend is someone that's over 65 years of age. I'm only approaching 60.
Yeah, you're far from that. Far from that.
But your bank account also qualifies.
Hey.
To be straight up. Yeah.
Tonic, please.
We have created such a sad culture of labeling that we've stifled people's creativity and hunger for knowledge. Yeah? People want to go out there, be proud to be legends. I don't mind. I understand the sentiment from a pride point of view. But I also know that it has really created a dangerous culture for artists because you can't be accepting a legend and you pull up in the studio in a Toyota from 1972. You know, it's a very difficult thing. We need to just realign properly.
What do you think about Amapiano now? Because they are doing what you were doing in the 90s. Like, they're touring the world. It's a big sound. Everybody's crazy. Like, how does that resonate with you?
I'm going to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
Remember, I come from the era of bands in South Africa. At 14, I was working in the biggest club. I can't help.
Yeah, how do you get into the club at 14?
Yeah, that's for another time. I want to answer this one very specifically. Cool. When I sit back and look at the various eras of musicianship and business in South Africa, there is no era that gives me more pride than now.
Okay.
Yeah, because these brothers don't fuck around. They understand the business first before any of that stuff. So I'm very proud of Mapiano. I know nothing about it. I've never tried to produce Mapiano. But I'm really, when I look at what these brothers are doing and going around the world.
And sisters.
And sisters, thank you. You realize that now there's a business mind.
Yes.
Yes. But you hope also at the same time it's not all hype.
Yeah.
Because I also know the business. You know, you hope and pray that it's not all hype. You hope and pray that this Lambo, this bling.
Yeah.
It's not all hype.
Yeah.
Why? Because I grew up in America. I grew up watching hype.
Oh, LA, yeah, you've seen
I grew
hype.
up seeing MC Hammer blow billions and end up back in the hood.
No ways.
You understand? You understand? So
You were there?
Yeah. I grew up. I was in South Central LA at the height of the Crips and the Bloods.
Yeah.
I literally lived there. When NWA starts, I'm there.
Whoa.
I used to have a club in LA.
Whoa.
Everybody's hang out there when I was a kid. So
you met Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Tupac.
I've been around.
Did you meet
there.
Tupac?
No, not Pac.
Oh, okay, not Pac.
Yeah, but I've been around that culture to understand and learn the business side of it.
How is it similar to piano?
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What the brothers are doing now, I can only hope and pray that the deal is good.
Yeah, it's not just hype.
It's not hype.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I'm very proud of. Yeah, I mean, I'm very proud of it.
Yeah.
Very.
How is Hollywood?
Coffee?
Coffee's.
Everybody's gone.
Yeah,
you know.
gone.
But again, I just sit back and say, yeah.
How is Hollywood compared to SA? Because everybody wants to be in Hollywood. Even us, we're the biggest podcast in Africa, but we all want to be in Hollywood, right?
Hey. What? I don't want to be in Hollywood, man. But I get your question. But hey, I don't want to be in Hollywood. Unless it's for a movie or something. Yeah, I don't mind. But I'm happy podcasting this side.
Now, answer by financial 6'9".
Yeah, that's shy.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Because the next thing is like, you said,
No, let's go. And we'll even have a smoke break. We'll even have a smoke break.
But that's a very important one.
Yeah, so as you're saying, I was asking you, how is the Hollywood life, SA life, like what's the difference like?
Life in general or the business?
Business. Let's talk about business, ne?
Yeah, the business of Hollywood, man.
Yeah.
Because I think life anywhere around the world is the
It's
same.
Different.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same.
Yeah.
The thing about Hollywood is...
Hey, Pralewem touch my... I'm not bathing for a few days.
Let me see if I can define it differently. Akumula, you asked me, are there any Lebo M's that are going to come?
Yeah, off camera.
Yeah. There are a million Lebo M's out there.
So I asked him, just to give context, before we started recording this, I asked him, do you think there are more Lebo M's who will come out of this country?
Yeah. There are a million Lebo M's. There are a million black coffees. The difference is the infrastructure in the industry built to create sustainable talent. That is government or the private sector or the record industry, the theater industry, built to create a conducive environment for talent to
blossom.
To blossom, thank you, globally. Yeah? The answer to that is unfortunately no. Yeah. So we have great talent in South Africa, as we've all seen.
Guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. We're just doing an interview here with Lebo. Nothing serious.
So make more noise.
Yeah, make no noise. Go crazy. Make as much noise as
Have
you
a
can.
party. Burn this place down.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
What we miss is the competitive edge created by the environment. Lawyers, managers, business associates for the industry that understand that this is a business just as the mining and everything else. If you're going to invest 5, 10, 20 million in mining, you will generate profit. It's the same. If you have the right business infrastructure and you invest on that talent, the same type of money that you invest in any other industry. The difference with Hollywood and this industry is you make the money quicker.
Yeah.
But you have to understand the industry. You have to understand, you have to create the administrative environment and legal environment for talent to thrive.
And the parties, did you ever go to like some crazy Hollywood parties?
I used to. When I was younger, yeah.
Whose party did you get invited to?
I don't remember, man. I don't even know if that's important, but I grew up in LA. You know, I went to high school in DC, hustled between DC and New York. Then in 1983, I moved to Los Angeles. I started from the ground up. I was homeless for the first 2 years in LA.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow. So where were you staying?
In the streets. I lived in the streets in LA for over a year.
I'd rather live in the streets of LA than...
Yeah, build from ground up. You know. LA is highly competitive. You have people from all over the world trying to break into the industry. So it's not easy. But you got to stay focused. You got to stick to your dream and your passion.
I mean, you grew up in LA, but when I listen to you, one wouldn't say, if they don't know you're Lebo M, that you grew up that side, you lived that side. Did you like lose the accent at some point, or was it a conscious decision you took to say, I'm not gonna lose that part of me? Because we've seen people, they're there for 3 weeks and yes, yeah, perfect example. There for 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
I've been asked, even comments around my reality show, banally accent, Lebo, blah blah blah. The only point I have to make about that is I never knew that black people anywhere in the world, let alone South Africa, own the English language to own the accent.
Hey, I don't get that one.
You don't get that one?
They own the...
I never knew. It's a metaphor. That black people anywhere in the world own anything accent related to English.
Ooh.
Yeah. So when you focus on how people sound, not what they say, that's where we get lost, most I think. You spend time focusing on flowery things. He said flowery, hare flowery. Then you lose the content of what I'm saying.
The context.
I can't help that I grew up in America. I can't help that my children grew up in America. But I grew up in both worlds. I live in both worlds.
Which one's your favorite?
South Africa.
Nah.
Yeah.
No place like home.
You just answered the accent question by just saying that also.
Outside the dumbass politics, we have one of the world's greatest countries. Just got messed up by politics.
Yeah.
Even from the lifestyle I have in South Africa, whether I have money or not, it's not a lifestyle I would be comfortable spending money on. When you live in any of the states in South Africa, it's more cost-effective but better lifestyle.
Better life,
than you
living
would,
standard.
Yeah, living standard than you would in Beverly Hills.
Wow.
But I couldn't know, Rona, we're so Americanized that I remember the early days. I had friends I used to visit before 1994 or shortly after 1994. Babatlanali Hollywood. Now you're in Hollywood. I remember one key guy, I can't say his name.
Yeah.
Hey, guy Hollywood key. He felt like everything that you consume is produced.
Yes. Yeah. And they do it so well.
You get in a plane, go look for Hollywood in Hollywood, but Hollywood is produced in Burbank in the studios. You understand? So America's greatest success in the world is to be able to package and sell and shove it down your shove it down. Listen, we live in a country that whose land should be more expensive than anyone in the world. Where mankind, the cradle of mankind, is where scientists from all over the world confirm that the first man walked here, the oldest bones are here. But we're not able to package that for tourism.
And monetize it.
But a large number of people travel to New York, to Times Square. What's in Times Square? Nothing.
Jungle.
It's a square with a couple of buildings.
And billboards.
And billboards.
And light,
So we consume so much.
But that has more value than Cradle of Humankind. Because of the way they package it.
Yeah.
I get you. What do you think about black people and confidence? Because some deem it as arrogance.
One of the problems we have, Rona, is labeling. If I can debate with you constructively, or if I debate with you constructively and I win, I'm arrogant. If you are as successful as you are, black people have a hard time saying he's successful because he's confident. They'll say he's successful because he's arrogant, because you are able to stand on your own, stand on your principle, and be who you are.
Know thyself.
Know thyself.
Love that, man. I wanted to ask you, do you think The Lion King was a gift and a curse? Because from your story, it sounds like everyone that meets you, whether it's your wife or your son's mother-in-laws or whatever, they just see a cash cow. They just see an ATM.
In general, success is a blessing and a curse, but the success to the level of the Lion King is more the curse than a blessing. One, well, let me put it this way. The work I do is unfamiliar to black South Africans. You understand? So I do know that the perception about success when it comes to me is only by the perception, because I do, the kind of work I do is 200-piece orchestra. We just finished a 2-month tour, sold out all arenas in Europe, myself and Hans Zimmer.
Wow.
Yeah. I always make an example, for example, about ladies with black members. They can't fill up a church here, but when they get on an airplane with the kind of music they do, as authentic as they do, they will sell out arenas all over the world. Yeah. So it's a question of what we perceive as success in South Africa and what is not success. Yeah.
Wow, man. Is it true that you were beaten up in your relationships?
Angela beat the fuck out of me 90% of my marriage with her.
No way.
Yeah.
Yo, so she wasn't just boxing in Maliako. Even
No, but let me qualify that as most men won't say that they are violently attacked by their women, because the perception is we're out, we're strong. But the truth is, if I respond to any female that violently attacks me with one hit, I'm in jail or I'm headlining. For example, I'm speaking of that, when this third phase of me helping Angela, like I say, I was not in a relationship with her. We tried, but immediately there was no contact. There was no being equivalent. And I realized when I asked her to leave that she is setting up, I realized she's setting up, at least from my point of view, she may have a different narrative, but it's my narrative based on history. She's setting up a violent confrontation so that maguphela vela nambona violent yamona lo level lo emotional apha. Yes, I was emotional because I was dealing with real issues. A loss of my son Tsepiso, a loss of my grandson, and a loss of my late son. Sure. So I'm not going to be fake about it. I'm not going to be apologetic about it. You understand? I was also dealing with the loss of my other adopted son Tunzi. I was dealing with the loss. It was evident before we even finished shooting the reality show that Angela's exit was there. So I believe very strongly that she was setting up a violent. That's someone poking for an emotional reaction. So I held myself up. Of course, I quote unquote lost it on camera. I didn't lose it on camera. I was real. But I executed a exit. I'm going to a hotel. In 3 days, you're gone. And I set her up in an apartment for free for a year. Gave her Mercedes for a year. I know the narrative out there is that I was financially abusive to her. But now no one has ever asked her, define financially abused. I pay for your child's school fees. When you came back for the third time, there's now Angela, I'm addressing Angela now, who has a narrative out there about me. And I can debate this with her. She came back with over 200,000 rand debt, your kids all fits at school. I paid all of that, made sure kids was going to school. So when you enter my life, all your financial responsibilities are taken. The only thing that she did not want to do was to account for money. Plus, COVID, you figure young shy, like everybody else. So when you're hit with that, you obviously start calculating and budgeting and things like that. Because she had set up her own little mine. So she can exit, hoping and thinking that the BEE guys that were now throwing her with DMs while she's on screen will come through and invest and pour money in Choose Juice that I built. Yeah? The only thing I ever asked her of Choose Juice is just make sure 15% of that business you secure for Ketso, Lulo, and Anle, the girls. Mtunzi has a father. Yeah? So now the thing is, the narrative some of these ladies and sisters and women create about us men is a narrative that dominates everything else, but nobody ever asks. Even something as simple, but if it's that bad, why did you come back? Now, you came back because I would rescue you. I would rescue your children. Now, what happens to the children after you leave for the third time? Yeah? So I think it's painful for most men to not be able to, and I'm not here to be about pro men and pro women.
Sure.
I'm here to put some context to some of the myths about me, their wives. I'm Angela's third husband, bro. The first time she was married, she was 14 years old.
Yo!
No, I'm not. It's fact. The second time she was married is to Joe Malebesi, who's serving 3 life sentences. That's the father of her second born. So I had compassion for this lady. I had compassion for her children. But when she goes speaks about me, piggybacking on the Nandi narrative, that's giving her PR, giving all of that, she doesn't say, this man rescued me and my children, set up businesses for me, took all my debt, to all my children's debt while the other fathers are alive. Most men don't have that opportunity. They say, no, but ask her. She claimed, I hear she's writing a book called The Narcissist Is Me. So what is a narcissist? Because I'm asking you to account for $20 or $200 or $2,000 or $20,000 or rands, whatever you may call it. But the damage is done to children.
What do you think is the future of men like myself and Saul and the crew here? Because it's a woman's world, let's be honest right now.
Yeah, it is.
It's not a woman's world, per se. It's skillful, opportunistic women that take the platform of deserving women who are suffering from gender-based violence, who are suffering from deadbeat fathers of their children, the so-called famous ones that are in reality show. That's why I also like that song. Don't save her. Yeah, don't save her. Yeah, she doesn't want to be saved. She just want to check to carry her through to the next guy or to the next business. You understand? So it's about do the right thing to your baby mama or to your wife. Do the right thing to your children, and hope that the mother won't turn on you based on the hype.
Sure. Hearing that, sir?
Amen.
You got a question you want to ask him? We're about to wrap it up.
Yeah. You know, earlier on, you opened it up with, I think you were talking about your first marriage or something. The one with Unandi, and you said the marriage, one of the reasons it collapsed was too much money. Yeah. How can too much money, because us as young black people, we always believe the more money we have, the better the quality of our relationship will be, especially if it's genuine. Right. How does money like fuck up a relationship? Too much of it.
I understand the question. Here's the thing. Again, I kind of like generalizing things. Yeah. And then I'll answer, you know? It's been, what, 27, 28 years since this new perception of democracy has existed? I respond to that in the following manner. It's a hypothetical, but think about it.
Yeah.
30 years ago, black people didn't know anything about money.
Facts. Facts.
True. Zero.
True. Zero.
Yeah? I learned something. You can't give a person 1,000 rands or $1,000 that's never known how to manage 200 rands.
True.
That's black people in South Africa. In the last 12 years alone, so much money got into black people's hands, but no one taught us about money. So yes, like
that they buy cars for the whole family and shoot it for the gram.
We're the only black people in the world, us and African Americans, by the way, that get a bunch of money and want to front. What's the word?
Floss.
Floss,
yeah. Shoot for the gram.
Everybody else doesn't do that.
The Jews, the Italians.
Everybody else doesn't do that because everybody else know about money.
Yeah.
Everybody else inherited long money.
Yeah.
We don't know the difference between money and long money.
Hey, man.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a two different things.
We know how to long for money.
We know how to long for money, yeah.
Not long money.
Someone has not taught us that when the money comes in, spend it wisely. Something as simple as that. Wow. Doesn't mean don't buy a nice car. Doesn't mean don't buy a nice house. But I don't understand anybody. I got 3 cars, bro. When we're doing the reality show, no, bro, we want to bring in this other car. No, but I have 3 cars. And I drive 1. So if I get 200 million rands, I don't understand why I got to buy 20 fucking cars. They're all worth 4 or 5 million rands. I really don't get the logic in that. So we're not logical about money only because no one taught us about money.
You know what? We had Zakes Bantwini on the show, and it always stayed with me. He said, we do that to show other people that we have money.
Because it's our very own people who disrespect us. If they call Saul for a meeting and he arrives in an Uber, but I can afford a Merc.
So even in the club, the reason why we do the whole shoop thing is to show those people that are there that I've got money.
Because the black waitress will disrespect me.
I appreciate all of that. Money does not gain you respect. Imagine this. So you get some money, you get 10, 20 million rand, and you buy a house and you buy all of that, and you're doing all of that to say this is who I am. You let it define you. What happens when it goes out? What happens? You are still you. Wherever you go, there you are. With or without the money, right? So I don't agree or disagree to what Zakes is saying. I just don't believe that money should define you. Me included, right? I've been there, done it all. You know, I've gotten properties that I've never stayed in, bro.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's wild.
I've had a property in Harties and 3 properties in Durban, but Oksalayo. The fuck did I have that for? My nieces and nephews will go party and you know, blow the fuck out of my house and bring hoes, and the next thing some shit happened in my house in Dainford. Yeah, I forgot my passport.
Yeah.
I come back, there's girls everywhere. Flossing. But I say yako. Yeah. But I've even lost my point. But my point is,
with the relationship, marriage, and money.
Yeah, money. Money is true. Money is the root of all evil. Only if you allow money to define you. Sometimes, like some of us, make it, lose it, until you start respecting it.
How much do you think your ancestors had a part to play in your success? Your ancestors
have what?
A part to play in your success?
Everything. I am who I am because of who they are and who they were.
So Mau say Hollywood ushaya kanjani msebenzi?
LA, yeah.
LA.
Yeah, but it's like, who says church is you going to a building? Yeah. The definition of who you are as a human being is not necessarily based, I believe, somebody says it's not necessarily based on some building you go to, some ritual you perform wherever you are. Is your principles and your values carry you throughout.
So if you had ever in LA like Usha Mbuzi and whatever those things.
If you're a dumbass, you'll do that shit. You'll be in jail in no time. Yeah? But does that mean I don't believe in that? I don't respect it? I respect it because that's who I am. I may not necessarily practice it, but I'm a South African before anything. I know there's various different cultures, various different customs, but I know 99% of my work is because of the South African I am.
True.
Yeah. If not 100%.
In closing, man. Oh, you want to ask something?
Yeah, like you said, 99% of the work is because of the South African you are. When they were putting together the team to do the music for Lion King, did they say they wanted a South African? Or how did that come about?
In fact, that's a very good question. When we did the Broadway show, the New York unions would want us, as in Disney, to train Americans to replace South Africans. We went back and forth. As a result, over the last 25 years, The Lion King is going to be 25 years in November. We've had more South Africans around the world than any production in history, but nobody knows that.
Yes.
Even today, all the Lion Kings that are running, the Lion King South Africa that I produced had more South Africans than any other Lion King in history, and as we speak right now, they are around the world on tour, right? Because we fought, we presented to the union in New York, because the music I wrote for the movie, what we did is I recorded the choirs in America, and I would say it's not authentic enough, and they write a check, and I come to South Africa and record hundreds of voices to make it authentic. Little did we know that into the future there will be a Broadway show, and the essence of the Broadway show is the South Africanness of South African performance in the Broadway show.
Love it.
I just want to say, as a kid, when I watched The Lion King, now it makes sense what you're saying. They recorded the vocals, Americans singing Zulu or whatever, it didn't sound authentic. I was blown away when I was like 6, and you hearing Ingonyama, and it's like, whoa, this is Disney thing. It's a Disney cassette. Like, we'd watch them in primary school. Yes, I'm like, why are they getting the South African voices? Because I'm hearing like American accents all over. So like, shout out for that, because it blew our mind as
correct.
kids.
I recorded all the choirs in America of the Lion King.
Yeah. You said they wrote a check and you
listened to it, and I said, this is not authentic.
Yeah.
We did the same thing with Power of One, my first movie. Right before it was released, listened to everything. What do you think that is nice?
Black Panther?
I didn't do Black Panther. I did. I have worked in a new movie called The Woman King.
Yeah. With Viola Davis and Tusum Bedu.
Tusum Bedu is there. Viola Davis and Oprah's adopted daughter, who's South African.
My point is, we created a system where authenticity can only be represented when you hire South Africans.
Wow.
In closing, Pralew.
You've been closing for the last 3 hours, bro.
What do you want to be remembered as? What do you want to be remembered as?
A brother from the hood that did his best and opened doors and tried to do as best as he can to open opportunity around the world for South Africans.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Love it, man. I was saying to you outside, thank you so much, man. Like, it's an honor to have you here. Don't leave me hanging.
I was really nervous coming here.
Why?
Yeah. Because there's a lot of people that talk bullshit about you.
Yeah.
And your show.
Yeah.
Then
we're used to that.
Yeah.
They're gonna do after this show as well.
Then I watched a couple of your episodes about a month or so ago. My nephew introduced me to you, and I said, no, but that guy doesn't interview. He has conversations. I'm more comfortable doing conversations, and they're real and authentic. So I'm really glad and honored that you guys finally invited me to have a conversation.
Yeah. No, thank you, man. I never thought we'd get you, because I was a big fan. Like I told you, me and my woman were watching a reality show, and I was like, there's no way I can get Lebo, but I'll try.
Bro, it's so funny because like nobody's like who on one soap in South Africa are rejecting when we invite them for an interview, right? Because they're like, oh no, it's gonna ruin my whole career. And a huge Hollywood person like you is here saying thank you to us.
Yo,
John Kanye was here saying thank you to us when nobody's all like on Generations.
Yeah, never worry about anybody else.
Yeah.
Worry about how real or authentic you are.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. It really means a lot to us.
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations.
And I wish you all the best, man. Sounds like you've been through one hell of a life.
You know the saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
If it's not broke, don't fuck with it.
Yeah. Now we ain't fuck with this shit.
Yeah.
We ain't fuck with this shit. All right, Ranjan, can I get an amen? We had it, man. Podcast.
Welcome to Black Excellence. Do not fear, for if you do, just sip on some grandeur. And if you still do, ask ourselves, what would Mapapunzi do? Parama chila, itlesha lefiki. Ungoyigi, even if when they ask you, how sabiini, do not fear. For if you do, just say, Anistivi. This is the medicine of censorship. This is the pill. Which one is that one? Podcast and chill.